Fever down. You know what's coming. Bow, bow, bow. Woo! Feels good, baby. Making a whip out of baby. That's a good-looking dog. Woo! Happy days.
The Fever finally got their first win without Caitlin Clark, and you could feel the sigh of relief across Fever Nation today. The Fever finally secured their first win without Caitlin Clark, and you could feel a collective sigh of relief sweep through Fever Nation today.
Today feels good, man.
I never thought I would see the day.
But it wasn't just the win. The vibe was different, the pace was different, and we got a surprise performance from a last-minute signing that's making fans and analysts rethink the makeup of the team. But it wasn't just about the win. The energy was different.
Is this like actually the player that the Fever have been needing?
It wasn't a perfect performance by the Fever, but you get the sense they're figuring things out without Caitlin. In fact, as strange as it sounds, this injury might end up being one of those moments that changes everything. Not because it was good, but because of what it revealed. Some of the biggest turnarounds in sports championship runs, dynasties started with a setback no one wanted.
And Melbourne's three won't go, and the Indiana Fever earned their third win of the season.
The Fever's win against the Mystics was exactly what Fever Nation needed, because after that shocking loss to the previously winless Sun, Fever fans were concerned to say the least. The Fever's win over the Mystics was just what Fever Nation needed, especially after that surprising loss to the previously winless Sun, which had fans more than a little concerned.
I never thought it was going to happen. I never thought it was ever going to happen again.
The entire vibe was off. For a team that was supposed to be exciting to watch, they were playing slow basketball, a far cry from the high-tempo hoops we expected, and to rub salt in the wound, the Liberty dominated the same Connecticut Sun in the next game by 48 points. And to make things even worse, Sydney Coulson and Sophie Cunningham, Caitlin's backups, got injured in the same game. When star quarterback Drew Bledsoe went down after a brutal hit, a little-known backup named Tom Brady stepped in and never looked back. What seemed like a disaster for New England became a dynasty-defining moment as Brady led the team to a Super Bowl win and went on to become a 7-time champion.
Trying to create some airspace. Long three at the horn. Oh!
With Caitlin in the lineup, the Fever weren't playing championship basketball, but were at least staying afloat and hanging with top teams. She made clutch plays and kept them alive using her vision and creativity to make them competitive. But the offense was stagnant.
Commentators were talking about the Connecticut Sun and the Indiana Fever being the two slowest teams in the WNBA. If you told me that that would be something that was said on the broadcast during any Indiana Fever game, I would have thought you were insane.
And when Caitlin was injured, which was followed by injuries to Sophie Cunningham and Sydney Coulson, the house of cards seemed to be collapsing before our eyes. The Fever were knocked down to number 9 on ESPN's power rankings, and analysts were bluntly calling out the Fever's flaws, effort, and strategy when Caitlin went down with an injury, soon followed by setbacks to Sophie Cunningham and Sydney Coulson. It felt like the entire house of cards was crumbling.
Sorry, there is no way you can have 0 fast break points a team unless you are actively trying to not run.
Of course, this is all negative on the surface, but like with the parable I just mentioned, all of this opened the door to what could be an absolute game changer on the surface. It all looks negative, no doubt about that. But much like the parable I mentioned earlier, these setbacks have opened the door to what could turn out to be a true game changer.
An 11-2 advantage, miscommunication and stolen by McDonald, who races to the other end and finishes.
They signed Ari McDonald on a hardship contract. Now, expectations weren't high. I mean, nobody's filling Caitlin's shoes, but Fever fans were pleasantly surprised. The Fever brought in Ari McDonald on a hardship contract. Expectations were modest. After all, no one was expecting her to fill Caitlin's shoes. But she quickly exceeded them, leaving Fever fans pleasantly surprised.
Got a piece. Bonner thought she was fouled. Oh, but McDonald took it away. Wrap around pass and Bonner, right place, right time.
Ari didn't just fill minutes, she made a case to stay. She brought pace, energy, and a sense of control. She attacked, she fed her teammates. And for someone who just had one practice with the team, she looked super comfortable out there. Ari didn't just fill in minutes. She made a strong case to stick around. She brought speed, energy, and a commanding presence on the court.
I am telling you, she had one day to practice with this team, and she walked out there. She came out off the bench. She got 7 points. She got 5 assists. She got 3 steals, count them, 3 steals, and this two-way player was impressive.
She made a huge impact on not just the outcome of the game, but you could also see the influence she had on her teammates. She made everything and everyone better. Her impact went far beyond just the final score. You could clearly see how she lifted her teammates as well. She elevated the entire team, making both the game and the players around her better.
Hell of a job. You came in, you impacted the ball game, you settled us down, you were aggressive, your defense set the tone. Hell of a job.
And fans and analysts were quick to realize that she might be the missing piece. The Fever need to be a championship contender. Fans and analysts alike quickly recognized that she could be the missing piece. The Fever need to become serious championship contenders.
So the Fever need to do everything they can, everything humanly possible to keep Ari McDonald. You could see as soon as she started, as soon as she comes on the floor, everything changes with this team. Everything changes. Their intensity changed. Every little thing changed with this team.
It's to the point where analysts are seeing this as a huge opportunity for the Fever to make even more additions later in the season, and here's why. Not only does Ari fill a gap that the Fever didn't know they had until Caitlin got injured, she also makes $30,000 less than Brianna Turner, a player who hasn't had much impact and whose contract isn't guaranteed.
I mean, you gotta know that Bree Turner's like shaking in her boots, because Bree Turner is not on a protected contract. Her contract is over $80K, so she would free up space. Ari is signed for $51K because it's kind of like prorated for the rest of the season. And tonight, just taking a look at Bree Turner's stats, though she did only play 2 minutes, she came away with a 0-0.
If they move on from Bree Turner, who isn't getting any minutes, they not only secure a solid backup guard and add much-needed tactical depth, they free up cap space for another piece. Going back to the parable without Caitlin's injury and the subsequent Coulson and Cunningham injuries, we might never have seen Ari. The bad luck created the opportunity, and it was a much-needed solution for a team that was struggling.